Hey, hey everybody, I'm back. It's Mike, and let's see what's going on here. Hello, we got Tim. Hey Tim, how's it going? Uh, oh boy. Hey Eliana, how you doing? Jai Bhakti Vedanta Vaidurya Rasalita Vedanta Mahatmananda Jagat Guru Sri Mukunda. Yeah, absolutely, all of that. Uh, so, wow. Hey, how you doing? Another one. Awesome, man. These are great. This shows you how crazy they are with their names, right? Like it's got like so many names. Bhakti Vedanta Vaidurya Purna Bhakti Mahamat So Ananda Shri Vigyata Mahakripa Visvasa not. Oh my goodness. Oh, oh, that's great. Um, Absolutely. Deprogramming Maharaj. Yeah, there you go. And awesome names. Yes, absolutely. These are all awesome names. Um, so, yeah, we're going to have a prayer. Oh my goodness, we have a whole prayer. Yeah. So, what I really like though is the thumbnail. How'd you like that thumbnail? Right? Is that thumbnail great or what? Let me see. Can I find that? Let me see if I can find that. How can I get to that? Just for fun. Let's take. Let me run this. Let me run this opening and.
Hello?
Hello.
All right, all right. Hey, so everybody's here, man. This is great. I can't believe it. We got Dahlia. Hey, how you doing? And we got fake human. 911 already call on the phone. 911. But how about this? How about this? This thumbnail though, huh? How about that thumbnail? uh, I'm sitting on the Vyasasana there, and I am just teaching these guys. I'm teaching all of them that hey, uh, you're in a cult. You're in a cult, guys. That's what I'm telling them. I'm telling them that they're all. I'm telling them that they're all in a cult. Um, okay, so let me get back. Let's get back. So what I thought I'd do today is, oh my goodness, let's see. I hope this is working again. I never know if it's gonna work or not. Um, I just wanted to share some of stories and some pictures of my time in the Hare Krishna and just answer questions, talk about that, and just talk about whatever else is on anybody's mind. Because I guess there's viewers that don't know anything about me or whatever. So I just thought I'd just take it easy, take it easy today. But of course, I never take it easy. I always get excited. I always get upset. I get pissed off. I fly off the handle. That's just me. That's just me. Um, but let's see. I got this. I thought this was really interesting. I found this, and I think everybody's gonna get a kick out of this. Everybody's gonna get a kick out of this. Let's see if we get this to work here. Hey, there we go. Um, Chaitanya's mission doesn't exploit anyone. How do you like that, huh? Uh, it doesn't exploit anyone. Uh, Let me see.
It is a good movement for the benefit of the whole world. Krishna will help you. Krishna will recognize you. God, choosing, right? Our only mission is purport. We don't want to exploit Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. The people, in general, human beings, they have got this opportunity of being out of the clutches of...
Okay, I just thought I thought it was interesting. He says Lord Chaitanya's mission is not to exploit anyone. Meanwhile, he's exploiting the fuck out of everybody. He's got him out there selling his books, preaching in his name, worshiping him, building temples, doing all this stuff. Exactly, exactly, exploiting their labor, everything, just exploiting the hell out of everybody. But of course, he's gonna brainwash them and tell them that they're not being exploited at all. Let's see. I just thought that I got a kick out of that. So here is one of my here's one of my favorites. Of course, is Brigupati. Okay, this guy, he's he's got to be as old as Trivikram. He's got to be close to 80 years old, 75, 80. Spent his whole life in this cult, and here he is. Let's see. Here he is. Let me get out of the way again.
Can deliver Krishna. Very nice song. Krishna is yours. By your devotional service, you have made Krishna your property. So you can deliver Krishna to me. Therefore, I want to follow you faithfully as a dog. So that was actually, that last part was from a Brahma Samhita lecture Prabhupada gave in 1971. But they neglected to put the quotation.
Yeah, it's so important.
So then, there's another also. Prahlad, no, sorry, this is the section from the lecture Prabhupada gave. Prahlad Maharaj is devotee. He can ask Krishna the power. Give me such power that along with me, I shall take all of them. And that is Vaishnava. He can do so. Tumi ta takora tomara kukora balia janaha more. Therefore, we have to become a dog to Vaishnava. Chadiya.
Yes, become a dog. Become a dog. Become a dog to your guru, so he can treat you however he wants to. But what the point of this though is this guy. See, the point is not what he said. Is look at this guy. The point is look at this guy. The guy is, he's pushing 80 years old. He's got to be 70 something years old, almost 80 years old. And he's just sitting there reading these stupid stories out of these stupid books. And all he does all day is he goes out to these El Camino College and Pasadena City College and Santa Monica College. And he harasses kids, college-age kids, into buying these books. That's all he does for like 8 hours a day, or 7 hours a day. I went out with him. I went out with him once to El Camino College to see, what he was doing, and that's all he does. He goes out there, and I showed a video of him. He goes out there and he's like, "Hey, I like your haircut," because he's got no hair. Wow, what a opening statement. What an opening pitch. That's his pitch. He says it to everybody. Hey, I like your haircut. I can't do that. I'm a monk, but I got these books. That's his pitch. And it works for him. And it works for him. Liam, the type of brainwashing these motherfuckers do. It's not real. Learn your freaking facts. Yeah, Or his other one is his other opening is, hey, do you like the Beatles? And if the person looks like, I don't know how old you got to be to like the Beatles in 2025, but he he uh he says hey, you like the Beatles? I got this book with John Lennon, and then he shows the cover of the book has a picture of Prabhupada and John Lennon on the front of the book. And he goes, yeah, this is John. You like the Beatles? You like John Lennon? And then he gives up, and then he just starts in with his standard pitch. But those are his two, what do you call, like his breaking the ice statements. Hey, I like your haircut. I can't do that. I'm a monk, but I got these books. And his other one is, hey, you like the Beatles? I got this book with John Lennon on it. That's it. That's his. And then he just, once he's got their attention, he just starts in with, hey, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita on page whatever, we're not the body, blah blah blah. Look. This is how This is how the soul travels through the body. See, it's traveling through the body. It's a baby, and now it's an old man like me in a parking lot pushing the shopping cart full of books, and then it dies. See, and then that's what he does. That's what he does all day long. For 6 hours a day, from like 10 o'clock till what, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon? From 9 o'clock till 4 in the afternoon, whenever the school is. That's his claim to fame. And because he's good at it, because he's good at doing that, that's something to be proud of. That's something to be proud of. These people don't want these books. The majority of the people you sold these books to, they didn't want it, and almost 99% of those people are not going to read that book. They're going to just throw it away. But you give out enough. You do that enough times a day, over and over and over and over and over again. You may eventually someone's going to wander down to the temple with a book. Hey, I got this book, and I don't know. That's this guy's life. That was this guy's life 30 years ago. When 20 years ago, when I went out with him to Pasadena City College or whenever it was, he was already famous for doing that. He was already the man. That's why he's famous, this guy. That's why he's got flowers around his neck and he's sitting on a little chair. Otherwise, anybody could sit on a little chair and read out of Prabhupada's book and then make up a little story. I do it every freaking day. I sit here and I talk about stuff. I'm gonna do it right now. It ain't no big deal. Everybody in the audience they're just as narcissistic as he is, I guess, and they're just like they need to feed off of this. I'm on a path to spiritual enlightenment, and I'm making progress, and I'll get to where he is one day, because he seems so knowledgeable. He can sit there and do this stuff. What did he say? Radha Dasi said, talking a whole speech judging people who get a normal job and become a normal human. This fake guru Ma needs to be exposed for her nonsense. Her parent, Prabhupada disciples, Radha Dasi, Suzanne Tao. That name sounds familiar, but I don't know who that is. But yeah, they do, and that's like they want to criticize this Pranjan guy. He wants to criticize the average person, Joe six-pack, beer drinking, beer guzzling, meat eating, hamburger gobbling, steak eating, A1 steak sauce, whatever, consuming. And he talks shit about people like that, sense enjoying, and all of these they're horrible people. And then he turns around and says, yeah, all these hamburger eaters agree with me that these gurus are bad. Like, as if these hamburger eating people, what he calls hamburger eating people, somehow agree with him that these gurus are bad because of whatever he says. No, these hamburger eating people that you call hamburger eating people, they don't believe any of this bullshit. It's not that they agree with you. They agree with me. They don't agree with him. They agree with me. They agree that all these guys are bullshit, that they're all fake and phony. You shouldn't be following any of these gurus. That's what most people believe. They don't believe what he says, that only his gurus are good and all the other gurus are bad, or that Prabhupada is good and these other ones are bad. No. You're asking the wrong friggin' question is what you're doing. And he's making it out like these people that he calls beer drinkers and hamburger gobblers are somehow dumb, but yet smart enough to agree with him. That's the point that he's making. That these really stupid people that are eating meat and drinking beer and having sex and buying lottery tickets and doing all of this stuff and having a normal job and doing all of these things, they agree with me. No, they don't agree with you. They agree with me. Jadharani, the painter of Krishna art, changed the name Prabhupada gave her and became Shamarani because she went with Narayan Maharaj, still begging in the streets of Miami, not going homeless because her temple failed. Wow, that's really something. So she's so Jadharani, one of the first devotees, she was a painter. She probably could have had a career as an artist, but instead she started painting for Prabhupada, and she probably painted a rendition of that painting that I sat myself on. She probably copied that from some art somewhere and made her own version of all of the pictures that are in the Prabhupada's books. She painted, and she painted them because they couldn't use copyrighted artwork, and she was good enough that she could paint her own versions of all these famous pastimes and paintings. So she painted all the early paintings in Prabhupada's books. That was her. That's what she became. That's what she's famous for. If you want to call that famous, she could have had a career. Who knows what in art? She could have been, who knows what. She could have got a career in advertising. Maybe gone into television, print, magazines. Maybe became the editor of Vogue, or become the editor of Cosmopolitan, or become the editor of Time magazine. Or she could have been, just been an artist with paintings hanging in museums, paintings being sold in auctions for hundreds of thousands. She could have been a Banksy, or any of these people. She could have been. Maybe she was talented. She could have done any of that. Who knows what she could have done? Well, we know what who knows what she could have done. Well, we know what she did. She dedicated her life to Prabhupada, who exploited all of her artwork and all of her talent, used it for himself in his books that he made money off of, that he's still, his estate and his organization is still making money off of all of those books that they're selling with her artwork in there, if they didn't redo it. And what did she get for it? She didn't get nothing, because she did it all she volunteered all that stuff. She didn't get nothing for that. Meanwhile, these guys are sitting on these little chairs and reading from these books with her paintings in them. Copies of her paintings are hanging in temples all over the world. She didn't get shit. And now when times get tough, I don't know, what does he say? He says that she's living on the streets. It says, okay, what is Hayden is saying? her ashram is going homeless because nobody wants to join the stupid cult these days. People are starting to see the truth for what it is. Yeah, absolutely. And her temple failed in Miami. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad because these temples have brought so much harm and pain and suffering and trauma and abuse to so many people that these things they should be shut down. And it's good that they're shut down by the people not going to them. It's better that way than the government coming in and shutting them. Although the government could shut them down because it's a criminal organization. But it's even better that the people reject this, and they have to close down. Go be a Hare Krishna in your apartment, in your house somewhere, in private. Nobody wants to. Nobody. You don't need to open a temple. Nobody needs your temple anywhere. Nobody wants your temple. Nobody wants your books. You don't have to go sell your books anywhere. Nobody wants to donate her money anymore. They caught on to the truth. They're all scams. She's a scam too. She promoted Prabhupada all these years, and then she decided she wasn't going to promote Prabhupada anymore. She was going to go promote someone else. Well, why is that? Is it because Prabhupada's a fraud? Or is it because you don't trust the teachings? Or what is it? Explain. See, that's what happens is a lot of these guys, a lot of these people, they do stuff, but they don't explain what they're doing, like Trivikram. Like, why are you opening up a Grahasta ashram? Why do you need to get married? Explain what you're doing. You have disciples that you owe an explanation. You don't think you don't think that all these disciples that you have that have been donating money to you for years and years and years, supporting your lifestyle and supporting the fact and promoting you and your lifestyle, promoting you to other people so that they can promote your lifestyle. I mean, what does it cost to live in Poland in a temple and and sit out in the? What does it cost? I mean, who's paying for all that? Well, you got money in the bank? Are you just pretending to be a sannyasi that doesn't have money and living on donation? Do you really have a big bank account? And people are just giving? Are you like one of these gypsy guys that stand on the corner and claim that some baby needs money for a funeral? But there ain't no baby and there ain't no funeral, and people are just feeling sorry and giving. Are you asking for money and selling books on the pretense that you're this renounced guy that doesn't own anything and you're dressed in orange and you renounced everything, but you really got a house in Beverly Hills and you really got a bank account with who knows how much money in it? How is that any different than the lady that's begging on the corner to pay for her baby's funeral that the baby doesn't even exist? You're not any more of a, if you got money in the bank, you ain't any more of a sannyasi, and you ain't no renounced order of nothing. You haven't renounced anything. Renounce that bank account. Renounce those traveler's checks that you live on. Renounce that fucking Amex card that you got stashed away. These guys ain't fooling me. You want me to think that David Shapiro, Nisringananda, the head of ITV, didn't have no American Express card, a platinum American Express card? You showed Ananda had a friggin' American Express card. You know how much money you gotta have, how many fees you gotta have, how much money you gotta spend to keep that card good. You gotta spend money every month. Why is an ex-guru why is an ex-swami, why do these gurus gotta have American Express cards? What do they spend all this money on? Oh, because they gotta fly everywhere. They get points. They get reward points. They get this and that. It's bullshit, man. Such fraudsters or freaking fraudsters and fakers, man. I need a fucking American Express card. She paid all the early paintings. She claimed she was one of the first Prabhupada disciples. Yeah, she was. She was one of the first ones. She's one of the first female disciples. There's pictures of Prabhupada walking in New York, early pictures of Prabhupada in New York in the early days. She's right there. There's like Satsarupa and Jadharani and Brahmananda and Gargamuni. That was it. Kirtanananda and Hayagri. That was it. Like those 7 guys, those seven walking around for a while. Yes, I heard her most recent temple in Miami failed. They cannot pay rent any longer. Well, I'm glad because it's a scam. That's like when you hear about these scam phone call centers that are ripping people off for money, and they get shut down, and it's like, good, they got shut down. That's good. That's good. Her temple got shut down. That's good. Should be celebrating. Should be out there celebrating. Should be out there celebrating, saying, yeah, this fucking criminal organization is shut down. We shut this the fuck down. Thank you to the public for not going there, for not going in there, for not donating money, for not buying their food and buying their books and then whatever else crap they got to offer. Thank you for shutting this shit down. Absolutely. The youth in Miami are catching up to the crap. Yeah, you know, and it's, I was watching a video earlier, and this one, I think it was Knitting Cult Lady, I'm not sure, but she was saying that the internet is what's really digging into these cults, is the internet. Is that a lot of these cults before the internet, they could control people so much better, but now they just can't. Like these videos are important. People posting on social media is important. Like these Scientology protests that people are streaming these Scientology protests. These things are important. It's because everybody's on social media. Everybody's on. It's like the idiot came in and he goes, you know, why are you popping up on my feed? Because you're a brainwashed idiot, and YouTube knows to send my video to you. I'm not doing it. YouTube's doing it. If you weren't a brainwashed idiot, YouTube wouldn't be sending you my video. Obviously, I don't know you. You're a fucking idiot, right? But that's the power of social media, is the algorithm can pick it up and send this shit to who needs to see it. So if people are online, just like that bozo, if people are online and they're watching ISKCON videos and watching this Brigu Potty idiot sitting here, you know, and my video is right next to theirs, then they can't help that. If somebody clicks on it, then, you know, and then they hear me. And then they get to hear the truth and not to hear this nut talking about bullshit. I heard she got a nice luxury house with a pool in Miami to make it into an ashram. Somehow people no longer want to maintain her and her bogus cause. Yeah, that kind of sucks when the donations dry up. When you're living off someone's donations, because someone's, you know, you got 4 or 5 people donating so much money a month, and you're like, hey, I got some money here. I open up a little temple. I can rent out this house. I can turn it into a temple room. I have people coming in and out and make some prasadam and do my little chingy chings and do whatever. And then those donations dry up. Oops. There goes Star Island. There goes my house on Star Island. Indra Yumna, Brian Tibbetts, Platinum Card. Yeah, I used to work for American Express, Platinum Card. I know. I used to work for American Express. I know these guys. Yashodananda, Platinum Card. and Tamal Krishna platinum card, Nishringananda platinum card, Swavas platinum card. I'm sure Shiva Ram's got a platinum card. I'm sure he put that wetsuit on his platinum card. Shiva Ram, the swimmer, and the Thames, and Bhakti Bringa Swami having a house in Vrindavan. Yeah, you know, you walk around Vrindavan and all of a sudden you come across this really nice big like palace. These big palaces, man, and you know who's living in those. You know who's living in those. They're Giriraj and Tamal house next to two other cosplaying fellow crooks. 90%, 95% so-called swamis got paid and maintained. Yeah, yeah, and you know because you were right there. I mean, Yashodanandan was outside of, but it's all the same. That's how I know. I know. I got this. I know the man who knows so much. So yeah, this Brigu Potty, man, his claim to fame is just selling, is begging for books, man, begging for books. All their full disciples maintaining the same sense enjoyers they be talking crap about in their classes. Absolutely, man. And that's like the main, you know, first you got the child abuse and the sexual abuse, the domestic abuse, and then you've got this big scam. Right? You got all these different layers, you know, you got this big scam. Like even if there was no abuse going on, you got this big scam where these guys are not holy. They're not holy. They're not godly, holy, graceful, or anything. They're not Swami. They're not nothing. But yet they got everybody fooled and already. That is a scam that everybody's playing. That scam. Everybody's playing that scam. And then you've got all the abuse, the domestic abuse, smacking the women around, the child abuse, the child marriage. You got all that other stuff, which is way worse. But it doesn't negate or do anything to minimize this guru scam where they're just raking in cash off of these people that think that there's somebody that they're not. Even Yashoda, like Yashoda wasn't collecting donations. Like, hey, I'm Yashoda Nandan Swami, send us money. He wasn't doing that. But he was running this organization as if he was the spiritual head of this Hare Krishna society that we were all working as part of. But he was no spiritual head. He was no anything. And I knew for a fact because I was his right-hand man. And it's like when I was in it, it was like it was okay that he was like I understood all the like, you know, he's an ordinary guy. Hey, he's not really this, and it's like but now that I come out and I'm like, well, wait a minute, you know, why was I giving him all these passes? He was following regulative principles. He was following 3 of them, like everybody else. He's following 3 of them, but he wasn't following any rules. He wasn't doing no Mangalarti. He wasn't doing no this or that. He wasn't following anything other than just in his mind. So in that way, he's no different than Radha Kunda. He's no different than anyone else. Oh yeah. And they're not. This is such a. Yeah. The more renounced these Krishnas are, the more they love that luxury lifestyle. It's just like what that lady was saying. They want to act all renounced and humble, and yet their heads, they're more grandiose and have a bigger ego than anybody. That doctor has got it friggin' nailed, man. Like that, every person that's ever going to go to a yoga class or a kirtan class or a Bhagavatam class or a Bhagavad Gita class should be should be made to watch that doctor and say, you need to watch this video before you go anywhere near a temple. Because she nails it. The false humility, the everything. It's just everything. I've also heard last year on Inter-Human class that he got the most expensive insurance on the planet, inclusive helicopter rescue anywhere in the planet within 2 hours. So just think of that. Yeah, he's really dependent on Krishna's mercy, right? He's going to give class, and in every class he's going to talk about getting Krishna's mercy, renouncing everything. Don't renounce your helicopter because you might need that. If you break your ankle while you're in Rishikesh, you know, hiking up to, what's the name of that temple up there? I can't remember the name of the temple. But, you know, you twist your ankle when you're up there at that temple, up on top of that hill up above Rishikesh. You twist your ankle up there, you're going to need to get flown out. There ain't no ambulance going to get up. I mean, I don't know how they would do it. I mean, I can understand all the shit that he wants to go do all around the planet and have his disciples pay for. He wants to have a helicopter around because, you know, he's getting up there in the years. And if he does twist his ankle or, he has a heart attack or a stroke, he's going to want to be helicoptered out of there. Absolutely. I totally get it. But he's having his disciples pay for it. He doesn't want to pay for that. His disciples are going to pay for that. You get on YouTube and do a commercial for that. Talk about how you need metropolitan life, and it's only, you know, with the helicopter, you know, it's only $5,000 a month premium, you know. But hey, if anything happens to Gurudev, Gurudev's going to be okay, you know. Your Gurudev's in good hands with Allstate, you know. So you don't just you remember, every dollar that you donate to my insurance just ensures that you are going to have a Gurudev for, you know, just that much longer. So you're not just insuring my life, but you are also insuring your spiritual life. Baduna. Yeah, if you get stuck up there in Gogotri or Yamunotri or wherever, you're gonna want to be able to get out of there in one piece. You know, it's a fucking scam. These guys are such a scam. So I'm going to save that one for another day. I'm going to save that one for another day. So I wanted to, I know we've been talking about Bhaktivedya Purna Swami. This guy is a real creep. He was responsible for so much in, he was in charge of the school in Mayapur, and he was responsible for so many kids just being tortured and abused and everything. And I just kind of wanted to put a face to that picture. And boy, you got to be careful when you see this picture, because this is quite a face. And you say, wow, nobody suspected that this guy, nobody suspected that this guy might be a little creepy. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a trigger warning. Okay. So anyway, it says here, ex Bhaktivedya Purna Swami, or Mr. Allen, as we will call him for the purposes of this article, was for more than 3 decades the director of the terrifying Gurukula from hell in Mayapur. He was initiated by Jaya Potato Head, and they started calling him Bhaktivedya Purna in 1987. Prabhupada named him Anirdesha Vapudas in 1974, but his parents actually gave him the name Alan Ross Wexler in 1955. So why did Prabhupada think that he should be given initiation in 74, and why did Jayapataka feel that he should be given initiation become a Swami in 1987? If they're not able to figure out this guy's true nature and true character, should they even be calling themselves guru? Can they see past, present, and future? They sure didn't see this guy. I mean, look at this guy, man. If you can, they let this guy. This guy was in there for 30 years, and for somehow they didn't they didn't know anything was going on. Kids are being used for 30 years. That means abused kids are growing up. Abused kids are growing up in this movement, and he's still there. This one couple early disciples of Narayan Maharaj were asked by him to sell their house so he could buy a temple in India. They are homeless now. No, Krishna came and took on their burden as they preached. Yeah, that's amazing. That is, can you imagine that? Can you imagine getting taken like that? Can you imagine getting taken like that? Jayapataka, gay man for sure. See, I didn't know because I don't know him that well and I don't watch his videos or anything. But it's. I heard Jayapataka was having a relationship with his servant in the 80s. Well, I just heard. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Let me see if I can find this real quick. I heard something. I don't know where I can find it at. I don't think I can find it. But I heard some stuff about Dickie Slavin. I heard that Dickie Slavin has been having some illicit affairs. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I heard. But there's a webpage where you can read about it. I can't find it right now. I must have clicked out of it somehow. I apologize. But I did hear about that. So, but right now what I want to do is I want to just go ahead and share some of my Hare Krishna photos that I have, because I know some visitors and some viewers out there, because I know I'm getting quite a few visitors out there, want to know. They want to know about me and why I'm so bitter, why I'm so low vibe, on all these other things, and but I wanted to just share some photos that I have. I have a lot of photos, and they're pretty cool photos. Let me see if I can, what I can do to find some. Let's see. So this is in no order. This is in no chronological order at all. This is going to be just strictly. I'm clicking, and I'm just going to look at a photo and tell you about it, and that'll be kind of cool, I guess, in a way. So let's start with this one. We're going to start with this photo. So this is a Rath Yatra cart that I built myself. I built this cart when I was working on the cart with Ratnabhushana. I was helping him build the actual LA Rath Yatra carts. I was helping him build the carts, and I was looking at it, and I was just looking at how it was, the structure of it and how it was built, and I said, you know what, I could do that. I said I could do that. I got a garage, and I got wood, and there was actually parts. This is actually parts of the old original Rath Yatra cart that was made out of wood, and Ratnabhushana was replacing. He was building new ones made out of aluminum that folded up into a little box, and it came apart and like a transformer. So I took some of the wood, like this part down here. The bottom part is that's the actual piece of the LA Rath Yatra cart, and a bunch of these other pieces of Rath Yatra cart. And then I built the rest of it. Everything else, I built it and put it together. And as a little book, as like a little library. So I got all my books up here, and I got a sound system going. playing music, and I would push it around like a like a crazy person. So I was crazy, just like just like everybody else. I was just as crazy, um, and that was part of my that was part of the craziness that that I was involved in. Um, but yeah, because I'm an artist. I've always been an artistic, creative kind of person, wanting to create things and do art and whatever. I was an art major in high school when they used to have such a thing. Um, so yeah, so that's my Rath cart that I created. Let's see, what other photo could I? If you have any questions, you can ask. You can ask me about them. Absolutely. Um, or any comments that you have at all, you can. Yeah, that's what I did. I was out there doing that, and I'll tell you, it was a lot of fun. It was like a hobby. It was just like a hobby. I mean, that's something that you could do. You don't have to be in a cult to do that. Um, but I happened to be in a cult when I did that. Um, oh, here's a cool picture. Let's see. Let's take a look at this. Okay. So the, so this is at a place called Prem Sarovar, and I'm not sure where that is. It's outside of Vrindavan somewhere. It's like an hour from Vrindavan, I guess, maybe 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and but it's like this. It's a place where Radharani would go, and I guess I don't know. I guess she'd bathe in the lake. I don't know what she'd. But anyway, it's called Prem Sarovar, and this guy sitting in the middle was sitting there, and he was just doing his little thing, and this peaceful little guy doing it. I don't know what he is. I don't know who he is, what he is, what he's doing, but he has a little thing there. And I said to my daughter, you can see my daughter sitting there. She's not happy, and I said, hey, let's go take a picture with this guy. And she was like, no, 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 let's leave him alone. Let's leave him alone. And I said, no, 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 let's go take. I said, no, 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 let's go take a picture with him. I said, he'll love it. He'll love it. He's not going to be angry at all. And she's like, I don't know, Dad. I don't know, Dad. And so I said, no, come on, let's go take a picture. So he didn't care. He was just like I said. He was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Come sit down, take a picture. And so my Indian friend's taking the picture, and it's me and my daughter, and of course she's not happy, and it was very cold there. That's why she's got a jacket on. It was very cold early in the morning at this place, somewhere in Vrindavan there, and that was like 2000 and 2002. So that was like 20 something years ago, 23 years ago. Um, what else do we got here? So this picture is one that's on the credits, but I just want to show it and maybe talk about it a little bit. So I've talked about my friend Radhakun a few times. And this is him. And he was a character, no different than all the other ones. He was a kind of a scammer, and kind of a shady guy. I have to admit, I have to just be honest. I just have to be honest. Kind of a shady guy, and but that's me and him. In '96, my first trip to Vrindavan, and we're sitting under this tree where Lord Chaitanya. You can see up here. There's a sign explaining that this is where Lord Chaitanya sat when he was on Parikram, and he was taking a break, and so he sat under this tree. And now there's a temple built around this tree, so you can't even see this tree from the road. So if you don't know where that temple is, you can't see the tree. You gotta know where you are. When the picture was taken, I just walked by and we saw that the tree was right there. It's exposed, but now there's a temple. There's a temple around this tree. So that was 96. That was 96. Okay, and of course, this one. So this is me getting initiated. Uh, this is the initiation ceremony that we had. This is like around 2003 or four, maybe 2003. We finally had a ceremony. They kept putting the ceremonies off because it was going to be a Ritvik ceremony, and I kept saying, "Let's just do it. Let's just do it." But Yashodanandan and all these Ritviks, they didn't want to do a Ritvik ceremony because they felt like that was that was like a punch in the nose to ISKCON. And so they were like, I don't know, we can do that. And, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, but why are we doing this then? Why are we Ritviks and why do we have this Ritvik society and why are we doing all this stuff if we're not going to have initiations and we're not going to just follow through with what we're saying? And so it took them years. This is like 2003 or 2004. And I started with these Ritvik guys like in '99. So this is like 5 years after. So that's why it was in 2004. They just didn't want to do it. They just didn't want to have it. And then, so this over here is a guy named Bhakta Jim, not the same Bhakta Jim that wrote the book. It's a different Bhakta Jim. He had cancer, and we all got initiated at the same time. Me and Bhakta Jim and his wife. So Bhakta Jim had cancer. He didn't have long to live after that. He passed away shortly after that. And then his wife is from, I don't know, she's from Poland or Ukraine or somewhere there, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, somewhere like that. I think she ended up, when he passed away, I think she ended up going back. Awesome. Yeah. It was awesome at the time. 1996, damn, maybe we were there at the same time. 96, I was there in November and December. I was there in November. November of 96. Humility on steroids. Yeah. And then this guy over here in the back, you can see him behind my head. The guy behind my head is Jai Narayan. So he's an old Prabhupada disciple. So he's one of these guys that I met that was an old Prabhupada disciple who was always talking about the old days. And, he was just like, he was there from the beginning. He's just an old time. He's one of these old time devotees. And he lived in his car and he was always traveling. He was like Tennessee, and then he'd be in Oregon, and then he'd be in LA, and then he'd be in South Carolina, and then he'd come back to LA, and then he'd be back in Oregon, and he'd be back in LA. So he was always driving around. He was always working on cars. He was like a car guy. He was like a mechanic. So he was always working on cars. So and this is at Yashodanandan's house. And so you can see the fire sacrifice here in the corner, down here in the corner. And the Krishna books that were the newly printed Krishna books that we had just ordered. We had them reprinted and ordered a bunch of them. How long are you with ISKCON before you joined the Ritviks? Well, I was never initiated into ISKCON other than this ceremony right here. So this is the only ceremony I had. But I was hanging out at the ISKCON temple in LA since 96. So from 96 till about 99, 2000, I was kind of like a Ritvik, but I wasn't part of any Ritvik group. I wasn't following any guru, so I wasn't. I didn't have a guru other than Prabhupada from 96 until 2004. And then 2004, I got initiated as a Ritvik. But I started going to India and hanging out with the Hare Krishnas in 92. So from 92, so that like 92 is when I first started hanging out. 96, it was my first trip to India. 2004 was when I got initiated. This ceremony right here was 2004. I knew you look familiar. I was there as well. You were there in Vrindavan in 96. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was there. I had dinner with Panchagoda. We all had dinner because when he found out that these guys were all Prabhupada disciples, he was like, "Hey, you guys got to come and have dinner at my place." And I was with him, so I got to go. I was like Forrest Gump, you know. I just always happened to be, I always happened to be somewhere where shit was happening. He was obviously hanging out with early Prabhupada disciples. You knew the ones who lived the old days. Yeah, that's who I was hanging out with. So from 92 to from 92 to like 99, my friends in ISKCON were old Prabhupada disciples who were kind of fringy. Bir Lakshman, Janardana, Jainarayan, Radhakunda, Bir Lakshman, Sri Maya. These are all old Prabhupada disciples who were not, who left ISKCON. They weren't in ISKCON anymore, but they were still, you know, outside devotees. I can't, Sri Maya and I knew so many devotees. A lot of them have passed away. Lokamangala. I used to know Bhargava, the photographer, the guy who took a lot of Prabhupada pictures. I used to hang out and talk to him. I used to talk to him all the time. Bhargava, old Prabhupada disciple. Nishringananda, I worked for Nishringananda, and I used to hear stories from him. Old Prabhupada disciple. Sura's kids went to school with my kids, with my daughter, and I used to pick my daughter up from Sura's house all the time. I knew Sura well. Our children were in the school together, so I knew Sura. What's that devotee's name? Who was the lawyer? This devotee lawyer that lived in the building. Not Amarendra. I can't think of the guy's name. I'll think of it. I used to talk to him all the time. Talk to him about stuff all the time. Jagadambika was my daughter's school teacher. Just so many. So I mean, I know all these people. So many people. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, seriously, I was like this Forrest Gump guy. I just happened to be at the, you know, I happened to have dinner with Tamal Krishna because I was with Nishringananda. I just happened to have dinner with Panchagoda in Vrindavan because I was with these guys. You know, all these things, it's crazy. But so yeah, so I'm glad. That's why I wanted to explain it. I want to tell people because people want to know who I am. So that was my initiation picture. Let's see. What else we got here? Okay, so here's so I used to live, when I lived in LA, I lived around the corner from the LA temple in a building where Rasavadev lived. And Rasavadev was the one who drove the little girl to San Diego, or he was the president of the LA temple or the Laguna Beach temple or whatever. He was the one who was lying to the cops. He was the one who got sued. He was the one who got sued. One of the ones that got sued in the Robin George case. So Raspadeva lived in this apartment around the corner from the temple. And when he moved out, I guess he gave it to Yashodanandan or whatever. Or I don't know, he was renting it from Yashodanandan. But when he moved out, some other devotees moved in because it was a big place. It had like 3 rooms, like a loft and 2 bedrooms and a balcony, a big living room. And I moved in. I eventually moved in. I moved in around 2006. And so when I moved in, it looked, this was our temple room. This is our temple room and the deities there. We got Gaurnitai deities, 2 sets of Gaurnitai deities, Jagannath, my Nrsingadev deity that Radhakunda, that's the Nrsingadev deity that Radhakunda sold to Yashodanandan that he gave back to me. And then all these other deities are mine. Actually, I think all of these deities are mine. As a matter of fact, they are. All of these are mine. All of these deities belong to me at one point. So there's that. So there's that. Let me see. There was another photo. Let's see. Okay, here's one. I don't know how I can get these pictures bigger. I guess because they're iPhone photos that I took. I mean, these pictures are really old. But this is a good picture. It's just I gotta laugh. I just gotta laugh when I look at this. So again, this is in my apartment in LA. And lo and behold, look who is in my apartment. Look who's in my apartment. So over here, I don't remember this guy's name. I don't remember either of these 2 guys' name. I just don't remember. I remember their faces, but I can't remember their names. This is Yashodanandan over here in the middle. Right in the middle is Yashodanandan's ex-Swami. Next to him is Narayan playing the guitar. That's Narayan, who had more kids on LA on Watsika Avenue than any other man ever. I think just about every child on that street it belonged to him. And then next to Narayan is his wife, that she claims he was abusing her almost every day of their marriage. That's what she claims. And I believe her. I no reason not to, because he has a history of abuse. The thing about it, the thing that makes it interesting is that while she claims that he was abusing her every day, she would be on the internet praising him and talking about what a great man he was, and just how he was just the greatest husband ever. And I don't know if she was doing it because she was afraid of him and afraid that he would continue abusing her. She very well that very well could have been the case. But she did come out afterwards, after she split from him, and she did admit that he was abusing her, and that she was at the same time that she was writing that. But she never said that he was making her. She never claimed that he was making her write that, or that she was writing it in fear of anything. I think that she honestly felt that her writing that was somehow the thing I don't know. It was a weird thing. It's a weird thing they had going on. But anyway, this is my house. Okay, this was my apartment. These are all my books. All the books that you see here in this photograph are mine, and these are all Krishna books. All these pictures, pictures of everything on the wall. That up on the very top is not mine, but everything else in this photograph, all these books are mine. So it's when I say that, I've read all the books, I was in it for 20 years, I accumulated all these things. I I really am who I I really am who I say I am. I am who I am. Um, and I sometimes I wish I wish I hadn't done all this, but I did. Um, all of the, all of that, man, all of that, and then some. Um, let me see. So yeah, when I say I was working with Yashodanandan and Nara Narayan and all these people, I'm not making it up, man. I'm just uh, so let's see some more pictures here. What do we got? Oh, I got a picture here. Raphael will recognize this picture. Well, he'll recognize this place. He'll probably recognize these kids. He might recognize these kids. Um, this is right in front of. This is right smack dab in front of the Krishna Balaram temple. Back in the day, it doesn't look like that now. It doesn't look anything like that now. But there was a time when it looked like this, and this was in the year 1997, I believe, 1997, 96 or 97. And this is the sweet shop that was right next to the market, little store that's directly across from the Krishna Balaram temple. There's a poster of Tirupati Balaji at the booth. Yeah, yeah. Yashodanandan spent a lot of time in South India preaching for Prabhupada. So he had a lot of South Indian stuff, and he was always talking about South Africa this, South Africa that. And so I think that one picture up there at the top, that Balaji was his. But so yeah, this is a picture of Vrindavan back in the day. And those of you that, yeah, at the bottom was poster of Prabhupada begging for books poster. Yeah, yeah, I had it all, man. I had it all, man. And then let's see. So where's okay here? All right. No, wait a minute. What happened? Okay. Where's the photograph? Let's see. Okay. So this is pretty funny. This is we can get this. I can get this going here. Okay, so there I am. So that's me. That's me in Bangkok. So this is wearing a Prabhupada T-shirt that I made. I told you I was like an artistic, creative person. So I was doing silk screening in my garage. I taught myself how to silk screen, like how to do the whole thing and make the screen. I was making the screens. I was doing everything, and that was right when I became a Hare Krishna. So I was like, I got this whole silk screening. I was working at the public access, doing public access TV. But then I was in my garage. It was actually my dad's garage. In my dad's garage, I had like a whole silk screening setup going. So when I met the Hare Krishnas, I was like, let me silk screen a picture of Prabhupada. So I got I had somebody drew a picture of Prabhupada, and I got the picture, and then I made the screen, and I started printing these shirts, and I printed a bunch of these shirts. So we're in Bangkok. This is 1996. This is October. This is October of 1996. And I think that the night before is the night where Radha Kund took me to the strip club, and we almost we almost got our asses beat or killed in this running from these bouncers from the strip club, and that was the night before. So this is the next day, and I believe we're about to check out of our hotel and go to the airport and go to India. And there, of course, there's my buddy Radha Kund. Shady motherfucker, that guy, man. Let me tell you, that guy was shady. But he was a good guy. And he was a good guy. I mean, and he was shady to me, and I still said he was a good guy. He just had so much charisma, so much personality, and he was a lot of fun. I mean, you just had to watch out. You just had to watch your pockets. You had to make sure you had your wallet. When he left, when he was gone, you had to check and make sure, did he leave with my wallet? Does he be careful. And then, of course, so there's me there, and then Radha Kund, and then there's Krishna Kata. Radha Kund and Krishna Kata. So he scammed her. He scammed her into this trip to India and Bangkok. And then when he got to India, he just said, I'm cutting you loose. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. And she was heartbroken, and she couldn't believe it. And they got into this big fight, right on the main road, right on the main road, and they're yelling at each other. And they just split up. And she went her way, and he went his way. And then, as you can see, this the guy in the back with the hat, that's Bir Lakshman. He had some real mental problems. He couldn't even look at the camera. But he's the one who paid for my trip to go to India. And he was the one who got me into being a Hare Krishna. This guy back here with the hat. And then that's this lady's daughter right there. That's her daughter. So that's on our way to India, and about 6 hours and I'd say about 8 hours from when this picture was taken, we landed in India, and Radha Kund decided he was a holy man, and he was going to play the part of Bhakti Vaidurya Madhurya Mangalanga Radha Kunda Das Swami Ki Jai. And anybody who didn't go along with that was just... So that was my first trip to India. Oh, here's a question. So do you still practice anything Hinduism or still believe in Krishna? There has to be some good things you got from that time that are useful to you now. No, actually, there's nothing good from that time that's useful now. Everything that you can learn from a cult, you can learn. You don't need the cult to learn it. You can learn to be good and vegetarianism and be kind to animals and not to hurt anybody. You don't need a pedophile guru to tell you that, or a Krishna book to tell you that. You just don't need it. In fact, there's a lot of bad things that come from the Krishna cults in those books. And the bad things that come from them far outweigh anything good that could be in those books. Now, if you could name one thing in those books that is good that I can't learn anywhere else, I'd like to know what it is. You go ahead and tell me what that is. What that is. If you are an American and ended up in Badger somehow, then you were really into this cult. People moved up that mountain so they could do bhajan peacefully, full of Orthodox fanatic devotees there. Yeah, I never lived in Badger. I never lived up there. I went up and visited. I went up there and visited. What happened was, I made friends with these devotees, this Bir Lakshman and Radha Kunda. Those are the first two devotees I met, was Bir Lakshman and Radha Kunda. And then I also met Sri Maya and Jai Narayan and Janardana. So those are the first devotees that I met. And I made friends with Radhakunda and Bir Lakshman, where we would get together and we'd smoke pot and we would talk about Krishna and we would read Bhagavad Gita. Well, not so much read, but we would just discuss. We would just talk about Krishna and this. And Radhakunda and Bir Lakshman were old time devotees, so they already knew like verses. They knew what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. So we could talk, and then they would say, yeah, it's like that verse where Krishna says, just surrender unto me, and, blah, 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 blah. We didn't need the book. And, and then we would talk more and we would discuss, and then, they'd say, yeah, there's a verse where Krishna says, blah, blah, blah. So it was like, we wouldn't read from the books, but we'd get high and we'd talk. And just laugh and joke and whatever and talk, and that's what you do, right? And so that's how I got into the Hare Krishnas was through those guys. Radhakunda ends up moving. He meets this girl named Hare Krishna Devi. She was a Hamsaduta disciple. And she moved up to, she either lived in Badger or she moved to Badger. And he moved up there to Badger. And he got my Nrsingadev deity. He talked me out of that Nrsingadev deity. He took it with him. I guess he wanted protection when he was going up to Badger. So he talked me out of that Nrsingadev deity. And also, he tried to talk me into moving to Badger. He's like, you should come up to Badger. You should move up to Badger. But my friend Bir Lakshman moved up to Badger. So now both of them are up in Badger. And then, first what happened was Radhakunda and Hare Krishna Devi broke up. And because I went up there once to visit. I went up there once to visit, and he was with this Hare Krishna Devi. The next time I went up to visit him, he was living with Krishna Kata. He was living on another side of the mountain or whatever. He was like it was a different place. He was living with Krishna Kata, and she had all these kids running around, and they had all this land, and he was and Bir Lakshman was up there living up there, and he had his own little cabin. Yeah, Bir Lakshman had his own little cabin because he was mental. So he had his own little cabin, and Radhakunda and Krishna Kata lived in the big house with the kids. And then the next time I went up there with my daughter, and we went to somebody's house, and we went swimming. The river was running through their house, and we went swimming and playing in the water, had a lot of fun. And then the next time I went up there was when we were going to India. We were going to San Francisco to get our visas, to get our passports and our visas. And so that was kind of like our stop. That was like the halfway point between San Francisco and LA was Badger. So we went up to Badger, and then from Badger we went to San Francisco, and went back to Badger, and back to LA, and back to Badger, and back to San Francisco, whatever it was. And so that was my time. That was my time in Badger. So although I made a bunch of trips up there, and I was very familiar with the whole Krishna thing up there, I never lived up there. But I knew all those people that lived. And then I met Yashodanandan. So Radhakunda one time when I was up there, he takes me to Yashodanandan's house and goes, hey, this is Yashodanandan Swami. He was with Prabhupada, and he was this and that, and oh my goodness, and so I met Yashodanandan then. And Yashodanandan liked me because I was into computers, and I was into like doing television programs, and I was into I was this this creative guy, this new guy, this creative guy. So Yashodanandan was like, oh, you fix computers, you work with computers, and you do you do video, you have a video camera, and you have all this stuff. So he took a liking to me for that. And then it was like a few years later, like maybe 3 or 4 years later, Yashodanandan moved to L.A. And that's when I hooked up with Yashodanandan with his whole Ritvik thing. When Yashodanandan moved, he moved to Downey. He moved to L.A. and he was living in that apartment. And that's how I met him and started working with the Ritviks. Was through Yashoda by meeting him in Badger. So so here, let's see. Here's a picture. Okay, let me do this one. This is kind of funny. Yeah, this is kind of a funny picture, I guess. I mean, there's a story behind it. So this was my. This is also from the credits. This is from my first trip to India, to Vrindavan, and that's the Jamuna River there. And so, Bir Lakshman and I are walking along the Jamuna River there, and he's telling me about, you know, when Krishna did this. He knew a lot of stories from the Krishna book, so he was telling me, oh, on the banks of the river is where Krishna did this or Krishna did that, and we're walking, and you can see I'm wearing this towel, and you can see my legs. You can see my legs there. So what happened was, we're walking along the banks of the Jamuna, and he's telling me about how the sand on the banks of the Jamuna is soft, and it's this and it's that, and it's transcendental. And I'm like, oh, and so I'm walking down like right next to the water. And I'm just walking, and all of a sudden I hit like this soft mud, and I sank up to my thighs, like above, just above my thighs there. You can see where the mud is going all the way up. But I was wearing, I think I was wearing like, I don't know what I was wearing, not a dhoti. I wasn't wearing a dhoti. I think I was wearing like yogi pants or something. But it was like quicksand. So I just sank. Immediately I sank up to my thighs in this thick mud, and I couldn't move. And I'm just stuck in this mud. So I'm just stuck in this mud, and he's kind of laughing, and I'm panicking because I'm like, as I'm struggling to get out of it, I'm sinking down lower, and so I'm truly panicking, and so I have my bag, I have all my stuff with me, so I'm like taking my stuff off, and I'm putting it on the side of the banks of the Jamuna River, so I can kind of try to get myself out of this mud. And it took me a good like maybe 10 minutes to wiggle my way out of there. And I was panicking the whole time. It's not like it wasn't like, the panicking ended and I just got out. I was panicking the whole time. The whole time I'm trying to get out of this mud, and I'm not. It's like, it was hard, and I'm like, and I'm freaking out, and I'm telling my friend, I'm going, hey man, you got to help me. He's like, I can't go over there. I'll sink in there too. And I'm like, no, you got to help me. You got to get me out of here. And he's like, I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do. And so I just had to, and so I'm panicking. And finally, I finally wiggled my way out of there, and it was pretty scary. So what I was wearing, like my pants, my yogi pants or whatever, they're just like, I think they may have got stuck in the wall. I think they may have stayed. They may have stayed in the Jamuna. I think the mud may have eaten them, and my shoes. And I came out just like in my underwear and no shoes on. I don't think I got any shoes. Yeah, I got no I got no shoes. as you can see, I've got no shoes. The Jamuna just ate everything. And so he's laughing, and I'm freaking out. And so I finally get out of there, and I'm like half naked. I got just my underwear on, and so I just pulled out my gumsha towel, and always bring a towel. And I put my towel on, and that's why I'm that's why I'm wearing a towel in this photo. So that was my first trip. That was my first trip to India. So I learned not to walk too close to the banks of the water, or you might sink right into sink right into the mud. You don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. So this is so this is me in having my own Guru Palooza. This is me up in Rishikesh. My friend said it was really hot in Vrindavan. He's like, let's go to Rishikesh. And I said, okay, let's go. And so we hopped in a cab, and we took this 8-hour drive up to Rishikesh. And I'm standing in the Ganges, and this is like 2006. So it was like 19 years ago. It was like 2006, and I'm in the Ganges, and I'm trying to be devotional, and I'm just there to have a good time. I'm not there to be, seriously, seriously, I'm not there to be a Hare Krishna and do any I'm not there to do like devotional service. I'm not there to sell books. I'm not there to do Harinam. I'm not doing any of that. I'm there as a tourist. I just happen to be a Hare Krishna tourist. I just happen to have a dhoti and a kurta on and be a Hare Krishna. But I wasn't doing any kirtan or sankirtan. I wasn't doing any book distribution. I wasn't doing any of that. I was smoking hash, and I was reading Prabhupada's books, smoking hash, and then going off with my Indian friend, and we'd go visit temples. We'd just go visit. It didn't matter what temple we'd go to. We'd just go, and we'd go here, we go there, and I wasn't with any devotees. I was by myself. I was just like, I'm just hanging out, having a good time. So that's what I was doing. Retards are us. Yep, absolutely, man, absolutely. And they were in my house. They were in my. We would have kirtan. We would have these kirtans and programs in my apartment with Yashodanandan lecturing and Narayan lecturing and these other old time devotees lecturing. And one time we had Madhu Pandit. I had Madhu Pandit in my apartment and Chanchalapati in my apartment lecturing and sitting there and having prasadam. And who else came? I had a few other devotees come through my apartment and come to these little programs that we would have. They weren't there to see me. They were there because it was Yashoda. They were there to see Yashodanandan. I just happened to be living there in the apartment. If this were all true, then I'm really not into Krishna, who was a polygamist, and I'm not interested in being his maidservant, friend, or dust of his feet. It's just not that appealing. Yeah, well, yeah, you want to be the servant. You want to be the attendant of Radharani. You want to be one of Radharani's girlfriends, so that he can take you down by the river and have sex with you. That's all it is. But that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. We were all sold some fantasy stories that make absolutely no sense and cannot be applied into reality. Cannot be applied. The only thing they want you to do is just surrender to them, turn your life over to them, give them everything that you have, including your labor every day, and you get nothing in return. What does Brigupati get in return? He doesn't even get medical care. He doesn't even get Social Security. He doesn't get anything. What does Trivikram get? He doesn't get nothing. These guys don't get nothing. That Gaur Bhavana, he didn't get nothing. He 80 years old sitting in front of the restaurant telling the kids to get out of the way. That was his life. Brigupati, what does he get? He doesn't get nothing. He doesn't get Medicare, he doesn't get Medi-Cal, he doesn't get nothing. Nothing. So this is me. Wow, this is me. I look so young. This is me in 97. This is in Varsana. So this is where Radharani was born. So this is the big Varsana temple. And this is on the roof. This is like on the roof courtyard of the Varsana temple. And this is only my second time in India. And the first time I went, I was with Radhakunda and Krishna Kata, and everything was cool. Everything went well. It was a great trip. I got sick, but it was a great trip. So I go back to India thinking, oh yeah, a piece of cake. And I end up in Varsana at this temple, and these two guys are just totally trying to take me for every rupee I have. So they're following me around. They're trying to show me around. They want like 50 rupees each or 80, whatever it is. It's not a whole lot, but it's just the principle. It's the principle is that they're trying to scam me. They're only scamming me for 50 cents, but it's the principle that they're trying to scam me. But they're trying to give me the tour and give me this, and then you can see here they're trying to bless me. They want to bless me, and I'm just playing along because it's the polite thing to do. And of course they're going to ask me for 100 rupees when it's all over, and of course I give it to them. But that's what I'm doing there. I'm trying to be all humble. There. That's why it's good to deprogram when leaving the cult. Yeah, it is good because I'm going to tell you right now. When I left the cult, it was a really difficult time for me. I'm not going to lie about it. It was a difficult time. And because I all my friends were Hare Krishna. I didn't have I had like one friend that wasn't a Hare Krishna. Maybe two friends were Hare Krishna. Everybody else was a Hare Krishna. And my whole day was, I had a job, but my whole day was just revolved around Hare Krishna. So when I left, no more Hare Krishna. It was a really difficult time to make that switch from everything being Hare Krishna to everything not being a Hare Krishna. And of course, there's some residual guilt and residual thing. It takes time. And one of the things was vegetarianism. Because I was a vegetarian before I joined. And, I wasn't eating, of course, we don't eat onions and garlic and mushrooms and whatever. Or you feel guilty about eating, whatever. So one of the things that, for me, the deprogramming was getting over these dietary restrictions. Was with eggs and all of these things. Like, I didn't want to eat meat. I was a vegetarian before I joined, but now that I'm not in the cult, one of the things I needed to do was to eat meat. Not because I wanted to eat meat, but because I needed to break away from the cult. I needed to prove to myself that I was in control. And I know it sounds funny, and some people are like, that's crazy, Mike, but it was something that I had to do. It was something I had to do for me. For me personally, I'm not saying you have to do it, but that was something that I had to do. I had to go get a hamburger. I had to have a steak. I had to have, a ham sandwich, whatever it was. I had to do it. and I enjoyed it, and I didn't feel guilty about it. I didn't think about karma. I didn't think about anything. I just ate it. I just ate it, and that's, you know. And now, if I don't want to eat meat, I don't eat meat. If I want to eat meat, I eat meat. It's totally up to me. It's not up to anyone else. And no one else has anything else to do with it. Nobody. It's me. It's up to me. And that was something that I had to go through. That was my deprogramming. Everybody has to do it in their own way. And that was one of the things that I had to do. And I'm not saying everybody has to do it, but that's an example of, you got to break away, and you got to make sure you got to make sure you've broken away. You got to make sure that you're breaking away because you want to break away. It's got to make sense. You got to do this for you in there. If you're in there and you're thinking about it, you know. So that's what I went through. That was my experience. Yeah. Yeah. And, so, scam capital of the world, the scam perdaya. It's the scam perdaya. I'm sure everyone here can relate. Yeah, I hope everyone can relate, and you know, I hope everyone can see that we all have to go through this. Like there's that somebody was saying, there's no way out except going through it. You got to go through it. You got to deal with it. You know, it's you got to go through it. You got to go through it. I get it. I was veg before ISKCON, and I have felt like breaking rules just to feel free and in control too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying everybody has to do that, but that was something that I had to do. I had to do it because that was one of the that was one of the last things that made me feel like I was tethered to this philosophy. And I know it sounds weird, it sounds wacky, but that's what it was. I felt like I was still tethered to it. So for me, it was like I gotta do this one final act, the one final act. And I'm like I said, I'm not saying everybody goes through it, but for me, it was something I had to do because I was vegetarian before I joined. So being vegetarian while I was in was not a big deal. It was just wasn't a big deal. But when I left, then it became an issue. It was like, well, am I a vegetarian because I want to? I've been a vegetarian for 20 years. But was I a vegetarian because I wanted to be a vegetarian, or was I a vegetarian because I was a Hare Krishna? Well, let's find out. And so I had to find out, and I did. So that was something that I had to go through. Processed veggies, yeah, you know, and same here. Veg before joining was an animal liberation front. Yeah, and you know, and I have some friends on some, you know, Facebook friends, online friends that are animal rights people, and they're PETA and they're vegan and they're all of that, and I feel for that, man. I'm totally an animal rights person, and I don't like eating meat. I mean, I don't like eating meat. So like, I don't eat steaks. I will have a hamburger. Every now and then. I don't like it, and I don't like the idea of it. But you know what? I eat a hamburger every now and then. I don't eat that many, but every now and then I'll have a hamburger, and then I mostly eat. If I want meat, I mostly eat chicken, and I really don't like that either. But I do it. I do it, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I just do it. But I don't eat ham. I don't eat pigs. I don't eat ducks. I don't eat deer. I don't eat frogs. I don't eat snails. I don't eat seafood. I don't eat, you know, and that's just who I was before I joined. That's who I was before I joined. I didn't eat any of that stuff before I joined. So, but yeah, it was something that I had to do, and it's part of reprogramming yourself. If I don't want to eat meat, it's because I don't want to eat meat. It's not because this book's telling me not to, or because it's one of the 4 regulative principles, or because of any other reason. It's just because I don't want to. So I was vegan. Yeah, and the whole thing about like I don't like killing animals. I've never liked killing bugs or animals. I don't like. I'll spray I'll spray a spider if I feel threatened. I'll spray some ants if they're in my space. I'll that's about it. I don't like killing things. Has nothing to do with Hare Krishna. That was who I was before. That's who I was before I joined. So, uh, but that's part of who I am. You know, I'm vegan. That I'll personally never change. Yeah, and that's everybody. That's how everybody is. I'm like, I'm not really vegan. I'm kind of like a vegan in spirit, but not in practicality. Because I do. I like my chicken. I like having chicken every now and then, and I like having a burger every now and then. I just do, and I feel bad about it. And I don't like to see. I don't. You know, if they said, look, Mike, if you give up eating hamburgers and chickens, that'll end all the killing of animals in the world. I'd go, okay, I'll stop. Okay, I'll stop. But if my not eating a hamburger is not going to affect anything, then I'll cut back. How about that? I'll cut back. I'll cut back. Yeah, I broke it like once just to feel free and make my own choice. Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel. I feel like I'm still. I feel every time I eat a burger or I eat some chicken, I feel like I'm breaking something. I still have that mentality. I still feel like I'm doing there's a better way, and I'm being lazy by not following that better way. But that's just life. That's just life now, and I don't stress over it. I don't stress over it. I don't let it consume me. I don't let it ruin my meal. And that's how I am now. That's who I am now, and that's just how I am now. See, I love that everything is just our choice. Yes, everything is our choice, and we don't judge other people. Like I don't look at someone and go, "Oh, you're a vegan? Oh, that's stupid." I don't think like that. I go, "You're a vegan? Good for you, man. I that's something I can't do. I wish I could. I'm there. I'm there in spirit. I support you 100%, but that's not something I can do. I want to have some chicken and I want to have a cheeseburger every now and then. But that's my choice to make. It's our own choice to make. No one's telling us, and no one's lying to us and telling us it's coming from God. That's the good thing. Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's me. That's me right in the middle with the little drool coming down. That's that's me. You do what makes you happy, bro. Diet is a very personal choice. The Hare Krishnas try to control everything in people's lives. Yeah, yeah, and I think the point of it, the point of the discussion of talking about the dietary things is the control, the control that they want to have, and the fact that we need to just do it. If we want to do it, we want to do it for our own reasons, not because this cult is telling us is spiritually blackmailing us or emotionally blackmailing us into doing something that they want us to do. Uh-oh. I have a question. Did you live in New Vrindavan? No, thank God I didn't live in New Vrindavan. I did not live in New Vrindavan. No, I lived in L.A. I lived in L.A. That's about it. I never been to New Vrindavan. Let's see. Whoops. I wanted to get to. This picture. Let's see. So this is me again. This is 96, and I believe that's Radha Damodar. That's the Radha Damodar temple. And again, I'm wearing my Prabhupada T-shirt, and I'm wearing the yoga pants that I believe that Jamuna Devi ended up eating. Those are the yoga pants that came off of my body when I was stuck in the mud on the banks of the Jamuna. But I do believe that this is the Radha Damodar. No, not Radha Damodar. This is Radha Gopinath. I believe this is the Radha Gopinath temple. I'm not sure. Radha Gopinath, maybe. Oh, what is it? What is it? Oh, I'm sorry, I missed. Well, that's good at least. Yeah, it is good. New Vrindavan was not a place where anybody. New Vrindavan is hell on earth. Yes, absolutely, and it's still. I mean, who, in the '90s when I joined, and like in the late '90s when I started learning about New Vrindavan and learning about these gurus and learning about all this crap. And I mean, all this really, I read Monkey on a Stick and all this stuff. And I would hear about devotees going, yeah, I'm going to move to New Vrindavan. I'm going to New Vrindavan. I was like, why would you go there? Why would you go there? After everything you know about that place, everything that happened at that place, all the people that lived at that place, all the bullshit that went on there, all the abuse that went on there, killings that went on there. Why are you drawn to that place? Why are you attracted to that place? There's so many other places in the world you could go. Why do you want to go there? Why do you want to go there? It's not Prabhupada's temple, even if it was, but it's not Prabhupada's temple. It's friggin' Kirtanananda's place. What attraction does that place have? I never understood that bullshit. That's one of the cult things that is disturbing. Is like, why do you want to go there? It's just so weird, I was seeking information about one female, Hladini, who lived mostly. Hladini was a devotee who was a disciple of Bhakti Tirtha Swami in Africa. And I guess he was a disciple of Kirtanananda. I mean, these guys are all wackos, man. You got one wacko initiating another wacko, initiating another wacko. So this Hladini Shakti or whatever, Hladini, she was a disciple of this Bhakti Tirtha, this black devotee, this black Swami. Well, that just shows you how much brains he has, because he's a Swami in a racist cult, and he's the disciple of a racist cult leader, following the racist cult leader who says that black people are ugly and belong in the jungles and they're drunkards and they're this and they're that. He don't care. He don't care. And Sudama and Bhakti Tirtha and all these guys, these black and African Hare Krishnas that read in Prabhupada's books how black people are ugly and belong in the jungles and they never should have been given freedom and they should have been slaves and civil rights was a failure and Martin Luther King was a failure. And since the blacks were given freedom, they only just causing problems and they're drunkards and all of this stuff. And they hear that stuff and go, hey, yeah, I like that guy. I think I'm going to follow that guy and spread these books around. What kind of shit is that? Explain that to me. Akrita, whatever his name is, the black guy in L.A. How the fuck you sit there and preach this shit? Knowing that Prabhupada said all this stuff about the Negroes. Black people are simple, and we can take the good ones. We don't want anything to do with the vicious animals in Detroit, but the good ones we'll take. We'll take the good ones and we'll put them to work. Yeah, like a friggin' plantation owner. We'll use the good black people, but we don't want the bad ones. Bhakti Tirtha Swami. So he has this Hladini. I don't know what she was. I don't know anything about her. I don't know where she was from. I don't know if she was black, white. I don't know if she was Jewish. I don't know what she was. I know she was killed. I know he sent her into Liberia to go preach in a war zone. I know that people have been saying that they were having an affair and she was going to expose him. And so he sent her off into a war zone so she would be killed, and she was. That's what I know. That's what I know. But I only heard that secondhand. I never heard that. I don't know. I didn't know her personally or know anybody that knew her or anybody that knew him. I saw him a couple times. He came to L.A. He had cancer in his foot or something. He couldn't walk too well. I'm not judgmental either. Heart is most important. Pure heart. Yeah, this Krishna consciousness, man, it teaches people to be very judgmental. Judge everybody. What's he doing? What's she doing? Oh, he eats meat. He's not eating meat. He drinks beer. He doesn't get up at 4:30 in the morning. Oh, he's not at Guru Puja. I don't see him chanting his rounds. Ooh, how come he doesn't have tilak on? Oh, he's growing hair. He doesn't have a shaved head. He never wears a dhoti. Oh, look at him. He's this is that. I mean, we're judging people all the time. Each other. I remember I would pick up my daughter from school, and I would talk to the teacher about my daughter's schoolwork. Like there's like 10 kids in the school, So I'm talking to the teacher about school, and we start talking about whatever. We start talking about Krishna. We start talking about whatever. It didn't matter. And then people would still come by and go, "Hey, you shouldn't be associating with women. She's married." I'm like, "What the fuck is this? This is fucking insane." She's a school teacher, and my daughter's in school. I can't talk to the teacher? Like, everybody's suspicious of everybody. Everybody's just like judging. Oh, that's Sri Mukunda. He talks with Jagadambika, and she's married. And wow, we're talking right in front of the temple on Watsika Avenue, where everybody can see us, and we're just standing there talking, having a conversation. And now all of a sudden, everybody's gossiping about. I don't know about what. About what? She's married to the temple whatever guy. And I don't even live here. I live somewhere else. What? Everybody's judging everybody. The guy telling me, "Oh, you can't wear Fruit of the Looms because you can see your underwear through the dhoti, and that's not right. You got to wear this. You got to wear that." Oh, so now we're monitoring underwear now. And monitoring my cheese. I ordered a burrito with cheese, and now you're freaking the fuck out because I ordered a burrito with cheese. Well, yeah, because that cheese has got animal product in it. Well, so fucking what? You worry about you. I'll worry about me. How about that? How about you worry about you eating cheese, and I'll worry about the cheese that I'm eating? Oh, no, you want me to go to your house and have a istagosti where we all sit around and talk about how we ate cheese and we're wearing Fruit of the Looms. You got to be out of your mind. You got to be out of your fucking mind. Oh, yeah, Prabhupada said we should have istagosti where we all get together and reveal our minds to each other. It sounds like Scientology to me. That sounds like auditing. You want to know how many times I masturbate or something? You want to know what impure thoughts I have? Oh, I bought I bought a Playboy magazine, or what are you fishing for? Why is it so important that we all come together at your house and we all reveal our innermost? What did we do this week that was wrong? This is that's some bullshit. What program do you use for streaming? I like how it shows comments on the screen when you're reading. I use Ecamm. I use Ecamm. Ladini Shakti, the book distributor. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. And I don't know if there's more than one, but that's correct. Ladini Shakti. Running for that kiwi. Yeah, so that's the basic story in ISKCON, is that she was having an affair with Bhakti Tirtha, and so then she was going to expose him. He sent her off to the war zone, and she got killed. Ladini was a devotee who died in Liberia. Yep. Yeah. I don't think Ladini Shakti is the same Ladini I'm speaking of. Yeah, I don't know if her name was Ladini Shakti, but I think it was. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's the same name. Unfortunately, they do recycle names. Yes, yes, good heart is everything. It's crazy, but my meat-eating, steak, barbecuing, pig roasting friends are 10 times good humans than the Hare Krishna born, lifelong veggie piece of filth I came across. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. You know, and that's what I don't like about this Paranjan guy, is he wants to, he wants to just, well, he's a total spiritual narcissist, and he's basically like a little Prabhupada, and he does everything like the doctor says about a spiritual narcissist. Everybody, if you have any just a slightest bit of criticism of him, even if you were to say, hey, maybe the resolution on your computer isn't as so good. Maybe you could use a better resolution. Oh, so you're like the GBC. You think everything I say, they think my resolution is bad too. So you must be with them. He's got that mentality where if you're not with me 100%, then you're automatically against me. You're either in or you're out. There is no I'm in, but I don't like the shoes that you're wearing. No, if you don't like the shoes I'm wearing, well, you're on the outside. I'm going to add you to the haters. Even though I agree with you, but I just don't like your shoes. Well, I'm adding you to the list. I'm adding you to the list. So he, this Paranjan guy, total spiritually narcissist, and he wants to say that these meat-eating, beer-drinking, whatever characters who are so horrible, well, they at least they agree with him. They agree with him. Thank you for answering my question. No problem. If I know the answer, I'll give it to you. If I don't, I'll tell you I don't know the answer. That's interesting little icon you have there. Bhakti Tirtha ex-Black Panther was Prabhupada disciple, Dunda of bullshit from Pedo Kirtananda. Yeah, he was a Kirtananda disciple. That's what I thought. I saw him a couple times in L.A. right before he passed away. His cancer was advancing, and his foot. So he had that cane for a while. He was walking around with a cane for a while, and then it got so bad that he was in a wheelchair. But when he came to L.A., he wasn't in the wheelchair, but he was pretty bad off. He couldn't really walk too well. Insecurity overdrive. Yeah, man. Underwear check, man. They got to check that underwear, man. Processed cheese, vegan milk and cheese these days taste delicious though. Coconut kefir. Yeah, they even, my friend, they told me that you can't eat yogurt because yogurt is processed and it's got animal products in it. Like if you go to the store and you get like some yogurt or sour cream or there's a famous quote where there's a famous story where they were going to give Prabhupada some cottage cheese. In the early days, they gave Prabhupada, they made Prabhupada lunch and they gave him some cottage cheese. And Prabhupada had a shit fit, right? He's like, oh my God, who the fuck? Who put this on my plate? What is this crap? And they're like, oh, Prabhupada, it's cottage cheese or whatever, And they're like, we don't eat that shit. So, did she die from cancer? No, Hladini was sent into a war zone. She got captured by this army, taken out on the beach, and killed in a firing squad. He died of cancer. By the way, Prabhu Nanda Vishnu X Swami is around. Prabhu Vishnu featured regularly on photos from ISKCON Mayapur. Recently was guest of honor on sannyas ceremony. Prabhu Vishnu, the Bangkok Swami, Soy Cowboy Swami, is that one? Prabhu Vishnu Swami? We just spun the wheel on him the other day. I think it's time we're going to spin the wheel and call this a day. I'm gonna spin the wheel and see where it lands. I hope it lands on a real. Well, they're all idiots. Who? It's going to land on one of them. So let's see. Let's get this wheel going. All right, we're going to get the wheel going. And I got. Oh my God, I got. Hold on. I think I've got. Okay, let's see what we do here. Wheel of idiot. Yes, there we go. And I think I can pull this off. Let me see if I can pull this off here. Because we got to have the theme music, right? It's not the same without theme music. You got to have the theme music. And let's see if we get this going here. Hey, yes, Bhakti Vikash Swami. This guy, I really can't stand this guy. I don't know what it is about him. He's so arrogant and he's just so full of shit that I really don't like this guy. I really don't like this. I really don't like this guy. But how do you like that with the theme music, huh? That's really spinning the wheel with the theme music is really something. Look at this smug. Look at this smug ass guy, man. He thinks he's a holy man. Thinks he's a holy man. Like what has he ever done? Bangkok Swami. So he's back. Ugh. Yeah, see, he's going to come back and act like nothing ever happened. Hey, what guru hasn't, picked up some bar girls on Soy Cowboy? What self-realized holy man hasn't, had a threesome with a couple of with Pin and Pon from from the Hillary bar or whatever it's called, Who hasn't done? What self-realized soul hasn't, had a threesome on Soy Cowboy. You know, but he's in White Doty like nothing ever happened. Like White Doty, like that's. Let me stop this for a second. Oh my goodness, he's got a white Doty on. Oh, that's such. Ooh. That's so. Oh, that's so horrible. You mean he's just like a normal person? It's like he's not a woman hater anymore. He's not a woman hater anymore. So he was pretending to be a woman hater, and then he had sex, and now he doesn't hate him no more. He don't hate him no more. He hated him until he had sex with him, and then he was like, why am I hating on them? They're not so bad. Right, fake human? They're not so bad. He was hating on them until he got a little bit. He got a little bit, and he's like, I don't hate them no more. Nothing ever happened. I used to be a guru, but now I'm just a guru. I used to be self-realized. Now I'm just realized. Now I just realized that pussy. That's what I realized. I realized I want some pussy, and I'm just going to go get it. A fucking scam. A fucking scam. And these people let them back in. Why can't ISKCON say, no, you can't come back? Why can't ISKCON say, you can't come back? No, you don't get to come back. You don't get to be a Swami and then fall down and then come back. You don't do that. If they made it so that you couldn't do that, these guys wouldn't fall down. The only reason they fall down is because they know they can come back. Who do they not? They just got to wait it out. It's like Pete Rose. They just got to wait it out. Eventually, they'll reinstate you. If you don't die first, you'll make it in. Some of them don't even get kicked out. It's just like they just change their jersey. Like play for a different team now. I got traded from the orange backs to the white fronts. I used to play for the orange backs. Now I'm playing for the white fronts, you know? This is fucking stupid shit. And what do they think? I'm an idiot? They think we're all stupid. They think we're all stupid. Like you're a pure devotee? Oh, but you fell down? Oh, but if you put on the white, will that make you pure devotee again? Oh, it will? Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead, put on the white then. How fucking dumb do they think they're just... Well, they're, as long as they send money, as long as they send that money... Fucking... Hugh Turvey, Prabhupada gave his name Illapati Das. Jai Potato gave him Dunda bullshit name Bhakti Vikash Swami. He's Hugh Turvey. He's Hugh Turvey is who he is. He's no Lalapati Das. And he's no fucking Bhakti Vikash Swami. He ain't no Swami. I want to see when he can sit in a room full of women, bikini-clad women, he can sit there and give a whole room full of bikini-clad women a Bhagavatam class and tell them that they have small brains and they like to be raped. And he can get through a whole hour-and-a-half class talking that woman-hating bullshit to a room full of bikini-clad women, supermodels. And he's able to do that. Then I will accept that he's in control of his senses. But if he says, no, I can't give a class to a bunch of bikini-clad women, I'm in the renounced order of life, I'd say, fuck you, you're a fraud. If you're in control of your senses, sit in a room full of bikini-clad women and give them a Bhagavatam class for an hour and a half. And let it not affect you, Ramananda Roy, you piece of shit faking fraud. You ain't fucking in control of shit. You ain't in control of nothing. I can sit in a room full of bikini-clad women, give a Bhagavatam class, because I'm not pretending to be something I'm not. I don't care. I don't care if there's a room full of bikini-clad women. I got a girlfriend. There's women. Sorry, Mr. Turvey. There's women everywhere. Bikinis or not. They're everywhere. You walk outside, you're going to run into one. But they scare you so much, you can't. They scare you so much. You're so fragile. You're so fragile. Your manhood and your whole being is so fragile that if you're too close to a woman, that you freak out. And you're going to tell me that you're in control? How are you in control? How is that control? How is that control of anything? That tells me you're out of control. These fuckers are out of control. Out of control. You ain't gonna fool me and tell me that you're in control. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly right. It's exactly right. And they want you to think that they're self-realized. Oh, he's Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, he's so advanced. He can't even be around women. He doesn't want to be anywhere near women. He's so advanced. Fuck him. He ain't advanced. He's a piece of shit. Fucking piece of shit. Actually, interestingly enough, these two, today's wheel, Hugh and Pravananda Bangkok dude, were at one point extremely close together. I believe they went together to India, then later to Thailand. Yeah, this Hugh Turvey dude, he is such a scumbag. I'll show you. He's such a scumbag. Let's see what he says. Let me see. These guys are so full of shit. They lie about everything. They lie about everything, and including their philosophy. They lie about what the books say. They have no problem lying about what the books say. He'll sit there and say, "Oh, Prabhupada teaches that women and men are spiritually equal," and that's not true. He says we're both spirit soul, but he never says that men and women are equal. He says men and women are never equal. Ever. But they'll lie to you and say, well, Prabhupada says this, Prabhupada says that. Okay.
ISKCON's feminism takes the spiritual principle that we are not the body, but it takes it without the traditional understanding of how this spiritual principle is to be applied in practical life among conditioned souls and less than perfect transcendentalists. So we have Vaishnava feminism, sounds like an oxymoron, with the same basic credo as secular feminism, which is what Srila Prabhupada called artificial equality between women and men. ISKCON's feminism takes the spiritual principle that we are not the body, but it takes it without the traditional understanding of how this spiritual principle is to be applied in
This guy is so delusional that he actually believes that he is a holy man and that he can sit there and he's going to teach somebody something about life and about spirituality or whatever it is, Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma, Varnashram Dharma, whatever fucking name he wants to give his bambling blithering bullshit. He is so deluded that he actually thinks that he's saying something important, and he's saying something important, and that people need to hear it, and that I mean, I don't. What did he even say? I'm gonna listen to it again. I'm gonna listen to it again and see what the fuck did he say.
ISKCON's feminism takes the spiritual principle that we are not the body, but it takes it without the traditional understanding of how this spiritual principle is to be applied in practical life among conditioned souls and less than perfect transcendentalists. So we have Vaishnava feminism, sounds like an oxymoron, with the same basic credo as secular feminism, which is what Srila Prabhupada called artificial equality between women and men. ISKCON's feminism takes the spiritual principle.
Okay, so I think what he's saying is that Srila Prabhupada says men and women are spiritually. I don't know. I don't know what he said. I've heard it like 4 times, and I still don't know. I mean, he's trying to say something about ISKCON's spiritual feminism and the understanding, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what he's saying. He's spirit body mechanics. What did he just say? Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure it out. He said a bunch of nothing, ghost-looking garbage. I don't know if we he's an oxymoron. You know what he is? He's a friggin'. He looks like a. Look at this. He looks like friggin' Marty Feldman. He looks like a Hindu Marty Feldman, with these wacky looking eyes out there, like. This guy's a nut, man. This guy is a nut. He's a certifiable nut. Isms have nothing to do with spiritual realization. Plus, the feminist agenda is part of what Christians call the Marxist-Leninist or New Age Blavatsky nonsense. He's trying to say that ISKCON. I think what he's trying to say is ISKCON's feminism. Let me try and figure out what he's saying. What he's trying to say. What he's trying to say is ISKCON's feminism is no different than secular feminism, which Prabhupada called artificially making men and women equal. That's all he's saying. So basically what he's saying is ISKCON's feminism is no different than secular feminism. It's just an artificial way to make men and women equal. Verbal, yeah, he's trying to make it sound. He doesn't want to just say the obvious. ISKCON's feminism is just old-fashioned feminism, and probably didn't like it. That's all he needed to say. But he wanted to make it sound, I'm a holy man, so I can't just say that. I gotta say it I gotta do it in trance talk. I gotta say it in a cadence that makes me sound like I'm really smart. I gotta pause. I gotta talk slow. I gotta preface my idea with another idea, and then I gotta follow up that idea with another idea. Then I have to give an example through Prabhupada. This is a whole bunch of bullshit. Just say what you want to say. ISKCON's feminism is just feminism. And Prabhupada didn't like it. That's all he had to say.
That we are not the body, but it takes it without the traditional understanding of how this spiritual principle is to be applied in practical life among conditioned souls and less than perfect transcendentalists. So we have Vaishnava feminism, sounds like an oxymoron, with the same basic credo as secular feminism, which is what Srila Prabhupada called artificial equality between women and men.
He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything profound. He didn't say anything spiritual. He didn't say anything revealing. He didn't say anything. He just didn't say anything. He just didn't say anything. I feel cheated. I feel cheated. I want my donation back. What a fraud and a fake. He's in the same situation as Trump, but on a spiritual platform. The spiritual shadow government told him to shut up, and he is saving his team materially. He tried to break away. This guy, this Hugh Turvey dude, he's very this guy is very extremist. He's very extremist in his views. He's not in the least bit progressive. He's against women being gurus. He's against women being temple presidents. He's against anything and everything. He is Mr. Hardcore. Just he wants to be the holy man, and he's not. He's a joke. He's such a joke, this guy. But he wants to be the holy man so bad, Mr. Hugh Turvey. And he hangs around. His friends are all pedophiles. His friends, Lokanath Swami. He went to Lokanath Swami's thing. He goes to Kirtanananda's thing. He goes to all of these shady characters. He goes to all of their parties, their Vyasa Puj parties, their Guru Paloozas. He does all of it. He's right there. He's right there with them. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's the next Trivikram. They're all the next Trivikram. They're all next. We just don't know which one. But they're all next. Just like Trivikram was next. And he came after Prabhavishnu, and Prabhavishnu came after Bhaktapurna. Bhaktapurna came after Rameshwar. Rameshwar came after Harikesh, and Harikesh came after Bhavananda. And Bhavananda came after Kirtanananda, and Kirtanananda came after the This is friggin' insanity. It's friggin' insanity. I'm glad we're all out. That's all I can say, man. I'm glad that we are all out. And we got out of this craziness. And all of you people that are watching, you can get out too. And if you don't know how to get out, if you're scared or you don't know how to get out, you don't know what to do, you can reach out. You can reach out to me or anybody in the chat. Certainly anybody in the chat will help you. If you want to speak with someone privately, you want to speak with me privately, you want to send an email privately, you can reach out to any one of us. I'm sure any one of us would be more than happy to help you with answer any questions that you have or any issues that you may have. If you want to leave the cult, you're trying to get out, you don't know, you're having thoughts, whatever it is, we're all here for you. So you can leave a comment, you can contact my email, you can contact me in many ways, contact people in the chat. Definitely do that. If you have any other questions, if you have some questions you want to ask and you don't feel comfortable asking them in chat, definitely ask them in the comment section or email. You can email me and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. I won't yell and scream. I won't yell and scream at you. Artificial equality coming from 11 years old bride hunter. Yeah. Oh, man. That's funny. Bending the real spiritual knowledge drives people mad. Krishna himself explains the progress. I don't want to hear it, man. Don't start. I've said it many times. Don't come in here and start trying to preach. This is not a place to preach, and this is not a debate. And that's definitely a very quick way of getting banned. All right, this is not a place to come preach in my chat. I don't want to hear about what Krishna says in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. I'm trying to get people to stop reading that crap. And you're trying to get people to read it? The fuck is wrong with you? The fuck is wrong with you? We're not reading Bhagavad Gita. I don't care, man. Hardcore against women. Yet he got money. I don't want to hear it, man. I'm not here to debate. This is not a friggin', we're not preaching. This is not a place to preach. And this is not a place for debating. If you got some religious views, if you got some ideas about ISKCON, or you got some religious views, you can just shut up and listen, or you can take a hike. Because this is not the place to spread your religious views. All right. Nobody in here wants to hear it. I guarantee it. No one in here wants to hear it. No one. No one in here wants to hear it. Bedtime stories. Bedtime stories, yeah. Well, some of them are X-rated, so this bedtime stories for who? Bedtime stories for who? So, hey, I want to thank everybody for watching. We'll do this again. I can't believe the time just flew right by. But I want to thank everybody for watching and joining in, man, because I think we're really getting to some of these Hare Krishnas, man. It's good for them to watch. It's good for them to see us interact with each other. It's good for them to see that we have stories and we have knowledge. We're not just barking at the moon or anything like that. To quote Ozzy Osbourne, we're not just barking at the moon. So I want to thank everybody again. This has been great. It's so much fun, and it's such a learning experience to learn about so many things, and also to get so much information out there into the YouTube sphere, so that people can find it and learn about this dangerous cult. So thanks, everyone. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. I will be back tomorrow with more Krishna Cult updates. I got a lot more stuff. Just waiting to, I could go another 4 or 5 hours, but we'll do it again tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And then just for shits and giggles, here's me again as a Hare Krishna. Thanks, everybody.